everyone. I have a video for you guys, and it's about Kim Parker. You guys know Moesha. We all watched it when we were so young, but we had no idea that she was going through so much pain behind the scenes. After watching this video, I was heartbroken and I looked at Brandy a different way. I didn't know that she could be so cruel. She talks about how people labeled her as fat and undeserving and undesirable and not worthy, and how she had to fight against that, and how people are still treating her today. I mean, she has had a road of a lot of ups and downs, as you will. So I brought you guys this, and I hope you guys like. I love reacting to videos with you guys. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe here. And I just want to say thank you all for the likes and the shares. You guys have been doing an amazing job. But I want you guys to hear this story. This story broke me. Check this out.
Remember Kim Parker? The loud and funny friend on Moesha.
Yes, and it looks like it's already exploded.
Really want to be a cheerleader. That's the reason why I was so nice to Miss. I think I'm all that.
You want to be a cheerleader?
I want to be the Black Paul Abdul. I'm cool. I mean, I'm young. I got my whole life ahead of me. See, Mo, a man is like a bus. You ride him to the end of the line and then you get your transfer.
Countess Vaughn made people laugh for years, and now people have turned her life into a joke that isn't even funny.
Hi, Grace. I've been looking for you. You look so sexy. Definitely worth the wait. Can I talk to her just for a quick second? A quick second. I need to talk to you for a second. Elise is here?
Battled with wanting to change myself because of others' opinions. It had a lot to do with me being in this business, entertainment business, and how you're looked at as a product. Is it dressy enough? Is it cute enough? Is it, you never feel good enough.
You've been through a lot, and growing up in the industry at a very young age is tough. It seems to me that you want to change.
From body shaming on set to health struggles to private pain most people never saw, Countess Vaughn's life after Kim Parker will blow your mind. Let's get into it. Before we even get to the drama, can we just acknowledge something? This woman has been in front of cameras since she was a little girl, 9 years old, singing I'll Be There on Star Search.
The only thing that there's just too little love for the world needs. We know that just for everyone. Lord, we don't need another mountain.
9 years old. Mind you, she was not performing in her living room for her mama. She was on a stage, being judged and watched by strangers who had opinions about her. Well, she did win, but even winning at 9 years old in this industry means you are already in the machine. This was the start of it all. As a matter of fact, everything that came later, the insults, the comparisons, the moments she questioned herself, it all started building from right there. From the moment she was a child who learned that her value lived in how other people received her. From Star Search, she went to 227, and then she became Kim Parker. And look, if you know, you know. Kim Parker on Moesha and the Parkers was not just a character. She was a whole cultural moment. Loud, funny, lovable, unforgettable. Countess did more than play that role. She poured herself into it. I mean, I fell in love, and an entire generation fell in love. Here's the thing about becoming that iconic that young. The world freezes you. Look at it this way. They take the version of you they loved, and they keep it, like a photograph in their pocket. And then when real life moves, because life always moves, they look at you like something went wrong. That is the trap Countess has been living in ever since. Now here is where I need y'all to really listen, because this is the part that broke my heart a little. Well, who am I kidding? It broke my heart a whole lot. Think about who Kim Parker actually was for a second. She was Moshe's best friend, the loud one, the funny one who walked into a scene and immediately owned it. While Moshe was the serious, thoughtful one dealing with real life, Kim was the chaos, the comic relief, the girl who would say what everybody else was thinking and not lose 1 second of sleep over it. But she wasn't just jokes either. She had heart, real friendship, a personality so big and so undeniable that she eventually outgrew the sidekick role completely and got her own spin-off. Countess Vaughn made Kim Parker too big to contain, and then you find out what was happening on that very set while she was building that character. While audiences were laughing and loving every second of it, the writers were putting fat jokes in her storylines.
You need to stop renting girl sex. Okay? It's just, I am not messing up my nails.
Look, we just called to see if you got your costume, okay? See you tonight, girl. Peace. Hello? Niece, you still?
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything before, but do they make a Diana Ross costume in Kim's size?
And I need y'all to sit with that. She was at work, doing her job, and the jokes were about her body. But here is the part that gutted me, Countess said in a 2022 interview that she was actually much smaller back then than people remember. The show had essentially written her into the identity of the fat kid before she had even grown into the body people assumed she had. They built the stereotype around her before it was even accurate, and she had to stand there, deliver those lines, make people laugh, and go home carrying all of that. Can you imagine going to work every day and the job itself is telling you that your body is the problem, that you are the punchline, and you are young. You are still figuring out who you are. You do not have the tools yet to protect yourself from that kind of messaging.
When I was over the room and the 2-7, Marla Gibbs was wonderful. He taught me how to love myself and be a beautiful little girl and sweet. But there's certain people on there that, just wasn't food. One of the characters not liking me because I don't stand like me. Didn't know I heard her when I was on Moesha, and they made me the fat kid back then. The jokes, even the first episode. They said, I forget what the line was, but I said, "Oh, it's baby fat," and what's it goes, "No, it's fat baby."
She said those jokes got under her skin. Of course they did. How could they not?
When I was on Moesha, and they made me the fat kid back then. The jokes, even the first episode. They said, I forget what the line was, but I said, "Oh, it's baby fat," and what's it goes, "No, it's fat baby."
And then on the Parkers, they started putting her next to her white co-star Jenna Von Oy. And the comparisons from people on set, from the culture around the show, they started piling up. Countess has been open about the fact that being measured against her co-star that way damaged her self-esteem so badly that it eventually pushed her toward getting butt injections.
Because they used to clown me on the show. They'd be like, "You a black girl and Jenna Von Oy's butt is bigger than yours. And she's a white girl."
Bigger than ours.
Right. And that used to bother the heck out of me. That used to be the joke all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Y'all, she was being compared to somebody else so consistently, so relentlessly, that she started physically trying to reshape her own body just to feel like she was enough, not for herself, for a standard that was never designed with her in mind in the first place. This is not a classic situation of a celebrity being dramatic and creating crippling beauty standards on themselves. This is a person describing what it feels like to have your sense of self quietly dismantled, day after day, on the very set where you are supposed to be doing your best work. And she was still young, still building, still trying to figure herself out, while all of this was happening around her.
To apply the wig. So my hair's been falling out. I didn't want to make the connection with that. I mean, I was just like, come on, a wig can make you sick.
But do you ever say, like, is this healthy or is this right? Or are you so excited because it's something?
So excited. That's what you go on, especially being an actress. I didn't think about the health risks.
And I don't think that most of us do think about the health risks when it comes to trying to look our best.
Exactly.
She never really healed from all this because it just compounded as she grew older. Fast forward a little, and by the time Hollywood divas brought Countess back into the public eye, she had stepped away for a while. She had a family and focused on her kids. And for the first time in her life, she could breathe and put more attention on her personal life. And when she decided to come back, she was honest. Painfully honest. The kind of honest that most people in this industry never allow themselves to be. She said she got liposuction, called it a quick fix for the pressure that came with being visible in Hollywood again.
About Countess Vaughn's new transformation. Now, the actress recently revealed to People that she had some liposuction. She claims that this took her from a size 16 to a size 10 once she implemented some portion control. Some fans don't seem to be so supportive of Countess's plastic surgery. Many say that the difference isn't drastic enough and that she needs to ask for a refund.
Now, I know some of y'all heard that and thought, okay, vanity, shallow, whatever. But no, listen to me. When a woman who has spent her whole career being told her body is wrong, being compared and reduced and written into fat jokes, finally says, I wanted a quick fix. That is not vanity talking. That is exhaustion talking. I mean, I see someone who has been fighting the same battle for so long that she just wanted one thing to feel easier. BT reported she went from a size 16 to a size 10. And even then, even after surgery, Countess made sure people understood she was doing the work too. Portion control, cutting back on food she loved, smaller snacks, walking 30 to 45 minutes a day, dealing with thyroid issues that were slowing everything down, making her body take close to a year just to fully recover and adjust.
I think just given your history and the extent of the thyroid disease that you had, it's not realistic to think that you'll have a perfect high-pitched voice again, just because of the scoring that's going on the voice box.
Okay.
Most emotional, thank you.
What I expected to hear from you. I thought you would say, oh, I'm going to give you something that's going to go away. And okay, this is a lot.
Countess was trying her best, but her body was fighting back. She told us all of this. She was not hiding. She was not pretending it happened magically. She laid it out and said, this is what I did, and this is why. And people still came for her. Back in 2015, Countess was already being dragged online over how she looked at a public event. Social media went in on everything, her makeup, her hair, her outfit, all of it like hungry vultures. So the commentary was never really about one moment. It was never about one transformation. People had been making her body their business for years. The internet just kept getting louder. Okay, now this next part, this is the part that genuinely made me ache for her. It shows exactly what this industry does to women who are just trying to survive in it. Countess wore lace front wigs for years, and I mean constantly. She talked on the doctors about wearing them around the clock from 2004 onwards. No breaks, sleeping in them, living in them, because that look had become part of how she showed up, part of how she felt like herself, part of the image she believed she needed in order to be seen as beautiful.
In about 2004, my hairstylist introduced me to front lace wigs, and I fell in love with them immediately. You have a full hairline. I was wearing it 24/7. 5 years later, the drama came in. The red flag was the oozing from my ears, from my forehead, the whole nape around my head, the pus. It had a horrible smell. It was painful. I let this go by for 6 months. What I didn't realize was I had a bad reaction to the glue that I used to apply the wig. So my hair started falling out.
And about 5 years into that, her body started sending her signals, oozing, pain, hair loss along her hairline. The glue was reacting with her skin. She was developing a scalp infection, skin discoloration, loss of skin on her ears, a facial infection. Her body was telling her something was deeply wrong, and she kept going.
Because it's
so excited. That's what you go on, especially being an actress. I didn't think about the health risks.
And I don't think that most of us do think about the health risks when it comes to trying to look our best.
Exactly. It was cute now.
Well,
all that
and it's
matter.
important because you, by coming on this show bravely, Countess, you really are sending this message out to so many people. We're joined by hair restoration specialist, Dr. Amir Yazdan. And first off, how does this happen? Obviously, there's the glue affecting the pores and then over time creating this huge infection.
Well, yeah, it's the repeated trauma to the scalp. Like how she mentioned, every time you're putting the wig on and taking the wig off, you're putting traction, you're putting pulling tension onto the scalp, onto the hair follicle.
She admitted that herself. She kept wearing the wigs even after she knew, because, and this is the part I keep thinking about, taking them off meant confronting what was underneath, and she was not ready for that. Y'all, I need you to feel what she is actually describing there. This woman was in pain, physically hurting, and she still could not bring herself to stop because those wigs were so tied up in her confidence, her identity, her sense of what she had to look like in order to be acceptable, that losing them felt like losing herself. That is what this industry does to women. It teaches them that the image is more important than the person underneath it. It teaches them to perform beauty at the cost of their own bodies. And then when the cost becomes visible, when the damage shows up on the outside, people take that damage and turn it into content. She said she was embarrassed, said she was scared to go outside. Throughout her entire ordeal, one thing makes my heart swell with pride. She turned her life into a lesson for her daughter about self-love.
I had to go through this in order to teach my little one that you got to love yourself before anybody else will.
She took the thing that hurt her most and tried to make sure her child would not carry it the same way. If that does not make you feel something, I don't know what to tell you. And it kept coming. In 2018, she opened up about vitiligo, visible changes in her skin that fans had been noticing and commenting on. Then, in 2023, she became the target of ridicule, specifically over her eyes. Reality star Hazel E. was out here mocking how her eyes looked publicly, and outlets covering the story made sure to note that the appearance of her eyes was connected to a thyroid disorder. Countess was going through a thyroid disorder, a medical condition, and people were laughing at it. That is the part that gets me every single time, because it means this was never really about her looks. It was about people feeling entitled to an opinion about her body, full stop. Whether the cause was a wig, or a surgery, or vitiligo, or a thyroid condition, it did not matter. The commentary was always ready. The cruelty was always right there, waiting for a reason to come out. And now I have to take y'all somewhere harder. Because on top of everything public, the scrutiny, the health issues, the years of people treating her body like a topic of conversation, Countess was also carrying something private that most people had absolutely no idea about. In 2018, she sought a restraining order against her longtime boyfriend, David Benjamin Richard Witten. A Los Angeles judge granted the order of protection. TV One and BET reported that Countess alleged he had thrown bleach in her face. She described years of physical, verbal, and emotional abuse. She also alleged that whenever her career started moving forward, whenever an opportunity opened up, he would work to shut it down. That he made a habit of coming between her and any chance she had at getting her footing back. Now, I want to be careful here because these are allegations from court documents. I'm not here to hand down a verdict, but I need y'all to just feel the weight of that picture for a second. While the internet was posting what happened to her thumbnails, while people were making jokes about her outfits and her face and her weight, this woman was allegedly in a situation where someone was throwing bleach at her. The person who was supposed to be a confidant in safe space from the world, where someone was allegedly making sure she could not even rebuild, where private life was as unsafe as public life was cruel, both at the same time, and nobody knew. How many times did she smile for a camera carrying all of that? How many interviews did she give? How many appearances did she make? How many times did she show up and perform being okay while all of that was sitting right beneath the surface? That question keeps me up a little. See, here's the thing that I cannot shake about the Countess Vaughn story. She has been talking to us the whole time. She told us the jokes on set got in her head. She told us being compared to her co-star damaged how she saw herself. She told us the wigs destroyed her scalp. She told us about the surgery and all the unglamorous work that came with it. She told us about the vitiligo. She went to court over what she said she survived behind closed doors. The information was always there. The vulnerability was always there. She was never hiding. But people kept receiving her through the Kim Parker filter. They kept wanting the loud, funny, untouchable character instead of the real woman who was quietly telling them how much she had been through. And that right there, is why the "you won't believe how she looks now" framing makes me tired. Because the shock was never in her appearance. The shock is in realizing how much this woman carried while we were watching, how much this industry put on her while she was still just a child on a stage, and how long she has been trying to tell us the truth while people only wanted the version they could laugh at. She did not fall off. She lived. She survived something, several somethings actually, that would have broken a lot of people completely, but she persevered. And how does she get rewarded? The 30th anniversary Moesha reunion that had people talking mean things about her physical appearance. Apparently, people just don't learn. However, everything the internet said, everything the blogs posted, everything the comment section said, none of it moved what she built. Not 1 inch. Countess Vaughn does not owe anybody the face she had at 19. She does not owe the world a body that never changes or a story that never gets heavy. What she owes is nothing. What she has given, the talent, the honesty, the willingness to be open about things most people would bury, that is more than enough. The next time somebody sends you a "remember her, look at her now" post about a Black woman who has been in this industry since childhood, I just want you to stop for 1 second before you share it and ask yourself, what don't I know about what she's been through to get here? Because 9 times out of 10, the answer is a lot. All right, that's where I'm at on this. I want to hear from y'all. Do you think Countess was failed by Hollywood, by the public, or by both? Drop it in the comments and be honest with me. And if you want me to go deep on the Moesha